Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Silver Rush podcast. This is episode 3. And today we are going to be talking about NFL free agents we would like to see in Detroit. And then we're going to do a live mock draft together with trades, 7-round on PFF again. So we're going to start with the free agent portion, though. And I'm going to send it over to Mitch, and he can get this started.
All right. Let's before we start, let's talk about some news that came out today about Darius Slay that he
I thought you
requested,
might bring
or
that up.
they gave him permission. And I've said this, we talked about this. I want Slay. I would love Slay back. And everyone wants to trade for Ramsey, but Slay would be a billion times cheaper, and cheaper contract too. But the draft picks we give up it could not be a lot. It couldn't be, because we're not getting him a first. You might not even give up a second, really.
Yeah.
Because he's 32. So, I mean, if you can get away with like a third this year, maybe a fifth next year or something, bring a good corner, has a few years left, and then he can mentor Okuda, Jacobs, and then I still think you should draft a corner, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you bring him in, and he's cheaper too. I know you said as far as trading for him, but his cap's what, like 16, or
compared to what
his contract? Ramsey would be 20 plus.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but I know Slay's a lot cheaper to get, a lot cheaper as far as contract goes, and I think he'd be, a better teacher to guys like Okuda, and then a rookie that you'd bring in. I think they're going to draft a corner no matter what. But it would be kind of cool to see Slay, Okuda, and then like a top corner from the draft all working together this year. I mean, as much, and I like Jerry Jacobs and all that, but I'm just saying, having those guys, that'd be an awesome trio.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a lot of fun, and also, he got drafted here. He meant so much, and we meant so much to him. The guys that got rid of him are gone, so I think he'd be willing to come back. So, and then finish it where it started.
Yeah,
and
sure.
He always talks about that 2014 team, how they didn't get to where they wanted to be. We can right that wrong and have some success next year with him. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
I know it would be neat. We'll see what happens.
Right, but let's dive into some free agents.
All right,
because it starts soon.
And by the way, too, I do have a few corners on my list of free agents. I've heard that they're looking to look for them, and it's obviously is a need. So I do have some corners, but I have 7 down that I'd like to look at, but I'll let you start here and kind of go over a guy or a couple guys of who you have on your list, and I'll let you know too if I have someone. I'm sure we again probably have a lot of the same guys. It seems like that's how it works out.
I have a bunch of guys, but we don't have to talk about all. I can mention most of them, but let's start maybe we should start with position. Talk about a couple of positions, a couple guys from each position, because I have a bunch of linebackers now.
Yep, I have a lot of those too.
I know you probably seen it that apparently that we're in on the linebacker market and veteran, the cornerback market. So, some linebackers I listed. Obviously, this linebacker group is really nice for free agency.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best I've seen for a while. Guys like you got Bobby Wagner, Levante David, Tremaine Edwards, and those 3 are probably the best 3 in free agency. And I know the Lions, they haven't been we're not going to overpay or we're not going to go crazy. That doesn't mean they're not going to give out a decent contract at some point. At some point, they're going to.
They're going to have to.
So. And linebackers aren't really crazy expensive, even the best ones. So
no, and I agree. And I actually have Edmonds and David on my list of guys because I think they need, especially if Anzalone leaves. They're going to need a veteran presence, and these 2, they're clear. And I like Anzalone, but they're clearly better players too.
Yeah, they're upgrades.
And
you can upgrade.
I mean, upgrade's always good, and I wouldn't mind Bobby Wagner either. I'm just, those are the 2 I
remember
on the list.
Yeah, we were in on him last year before he went to L.A. So,
that's something it's something to think about for sure. And then someone that I also had too, I just want to throw this name out there. Someone that's going to be probably a little cheaper, is Bobby Okereke from the Colts.
That's one I didn't think of.
He kind of stepped
I like that.
Darius Leonard.
That's a good.
And he's not going to cost as much, but he's still young, and he's a starter caliber. So that's someone who I thought of who wouldn't be, like the top 2 or 3 guys, like the 2 or 3 that we brought up already, but he's kind of the next tier going to be a lot
Yeah,
cheaper, and I think, and again, he's a lot younger too than all those guys. Even though I think Edmonds is young, but still, I mean, that's someone who I thought of kind of the next tier that would be a really good.
that's a good mention. I actually did something similar. So I have also three other linebackers: Eric Kendricks, who got cut by Minnesota Vikings, stay in the
Yep.
division. We've seen a ton of time, and he's a good veteran to have.
Yes.
So that's one. But um, David Long from Tennessee,
Yep.
he's only been in the league a couple years. He would be somebody that would be nice. He's actually, I think he's really good. So young, and then a guy that fits the criteria of what we've been doing, the 1 year, the prove it deals,
Yeah.
is Devin Bush. Didn't work out in
Yep.
Pittsburgh. You get him on a cheap deal here, you have him earn it, and it's worked out so far.
Yeah. I think
We're doing
that's
those kind
actually
of
a really
deals.
good
So
idea.
yeah. So those are the kind of linebackers I had, because that seems like linebackers a big need, and it seems like they're in on the market. So that'd be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they need to get. I think for linebacker and corner, they're going to pick up one in free agency and they're going to draft one for
Yep.
each of those positions. And I would love to have any of those guys that we named off. I'm not really picky on which one. I trust that Brad Holmes is going to get the right guy. I just we need a linebacker, and I think any of those. I think you named off those last three. I had Okereke. We kind of both had the other three. Any one of those seven, I'd be more than happy with.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are our linebackers. Let's go into the cornerback group,
Okay.
shall we?
Yes.
So the one corner I have listed is Dean.
Yep. Jamal Dean.
He's a pretty popular one along amongst the Lions community to go out and get. He had a really good year. He's a beast, and he's young too.
Yes.
You'd have to pay up for him though.
Yeah, I was going to say
But
that's the only downside to him is how much you're going to have to pay him,
mm,
but you're getting a really good player.
yeah,
That's the thing.
that's the thing.
You pay the extra price, you're getting a really good player. So it's just
Yeah,
going to depend how much the Lions are looking to actually spend on one
right.
person.
And there's another guy in that kind of category is James Bradbury.
Yep.
He wants to get paid, but he's a beast too. So
Yes. Yeah.
um, that's the same kind of thing. Do you got any corners in there that could be kind of like that fits our criteria, or a little bit just cheaper?
Yeah. I
Necessarily, you don't
got
have to.
I got two other ones. Cameron Sutton and Rocky Sin. They're both. I mean, they're both been in the
Oh
league
yeah, I like those,
for a good amount of years and
but younger still.
younger, and they're going to come at a cheaper price. Again, you're not going to get that super high caliber of a play style like you're going to get with Dean, but it's
Yeah,
another kind of one of those deals you're probably going to get. They could be a multi-year, could be 1 year, but just bringing in someone, another body, a player that's been in the league for a while, but it's not going to break the bank. But they're still
yeah,
physical corners. They're still good corners. So I would like to see one of those two if they're not going to spend a lot of money for Brad
yeah.
or Dean.
And I like that. Another guy I had is Byron Murphy.
Yeah, yeah,
So from Arizona, yeah, I remember him in his draft. He was pretty good coming out, and he showed flashes, and he's young. Probably wouldn't cost a ton.
hmm
So that's one I would like to. There's a few corners on this list. I think that really rounds it up for me.
yeah. Those are the main few I had.
I mean, there's some veterans that are at the end that are solid, but yeah, I pretty much would say yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe like a guy he's kind of been up and down a little bit, but Sean Bunting from Tampa Bay,
Mm-hmm.
he's from here, and so I don't know. That's the one maybe name that maybe just needs a new
They're coming
place
to
and
play.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the cornerbacks.
Yep.
I think we're going to be heavy invested in the linebacker and cornerback group this free agency next week.
Yep.
So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to go out. Like, let's say we traded for Darius Slay, and then you sign one of the top linebackers. That would be really good.
Nice.
Oh man, going to the draft when you really secured two positions that you really needed, and all of a sudden you really can do anything.
And then if you
I
start
still think
if Brad Holmes hits on his picks too, then I mean next year's team is going to be unreal.
unreal, and you still get a corner though. Even at some point, I would like still a corner. Even if it gets Slay, I want a corner at 6 still. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
So I don't think it changes that much because Slay is older. and that would just be that would be very ideal situation. Um, what other position you want to dive into?
It's not one I really want to dive into because I don't think that safety is going to have a huge market.
Yeah.
As far as Lions go, but one guy I just wanted to bring up was Chauncey Gardner Johnson from the Eagles,
Hmm.
just because he has ties with Aaron Glenn and he's a really good safety. Of course,
He'd fit so nice.
I feel like they're not going to spend a ton of money on another safety because they have Kirby
Yeah.
Joseph and Tracy Walker, but uh, I could be wrong. I just want to bring him up because he would fit perfect. He has ties with our DC, and so there's always a chance he could end up being a play.
Yeah, I agree. That's one name I would agree with. You put him in there with Walker and Kirby, man, that's nasty. That's a nasty
Yeah,
safety trio. And oh, imagine getting him,
dude.
having those three, and then wow, that secondary ought to get better. Having three safeties because he can play the nickel. So, and he's pretty versatile though. To be honest, you can really move him
Yeah, he
around,
is.
do all kinds of things. Actually, really, he's kind of like, and Walker is too. So you just have a lot of versatility in that safety room. I like that.
Yeah, so I
I
just want to
like
bring
that.
him up. Um, and then besides that, the only other name I put down, which is again isn't like deep diving into position, but like one of my top guys I would want to go after would be Zach Allen. He can DN, he can play inside if he needs to. He's probably going to cost a little bit again, which I'm not sure if they want to do that. Assuming they're going to get rid of Aquara or Charles Harris. But just another name out there who I think will fit our system. Really good player. And so again, I don't think that's really going to happen just because he's going to cost probably too much, and I'm sure they're going to draft someone again. But I just want to throw that name out there as well.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. Uh, I don't. If we lose John Kaminsky, because he said he's testing for agency a little bit, he wants
I
to see how
don't
it
like.
goes. I know. If we lose him, which would suck, you do need to go and get another edge because you're probably moving on from Romeo.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, and Frank Clark's another one I kind of
Yep,
like.
yep.
So,
I did almost put him down too. But, sorry, my
yeah,
dog's going to get in the screen here for a minute. Hi.
he wants to join the
Yeah,
podcast.
you
Let's
want to join
get
the
it.
podcast, buddy? Hi.
But yeah. So Edge is an underrated like thing we might address in free agency. Especially if we lose John, you need to
Yeah,
at that point. So,
buddy, you're good. Yeah, no, definitely. If you lose one of them, I mean, lose John especially. But I'm saying, and maybe if John Kaminsky leaves, I know he's not demanding a huge contract, but then maybe you don't get rid of either of Okwar or Harris. I mean, you never
right,
know. But I'd much rather have Kaminsky at a discounted price than I'll have
right,
a 30-year-old Aquara at a expensive $13 million cap. So uh,
right.
I guess it all kind of depends starting Monday what happens. I still think he'll be back. Um,
Yeah, I do too.
but
Still think
still,
he'll be back.
it is kind of up there. Like maybe he won't come back. And I like Frank Clark. I think a nice veteran, a good veteran coming in if he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
would be a good addition.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's an underrated thing. Um, underrated position we might address is that edge rusher.
Yep.
And
Never.
you can never have too much depth,
I was
especially at edge. You want to have good rotation. So big on that. Let's get a good rotation. I don't just want to have two good starters. I want to be like 5, 6 deep at
Yeah.
edge rusher.
You
So,
want to have your next two
um,
guys come in and
yeah,
be able to really produce.
yeah. You don't want to have a huge drop off. You know what I mean? You want to be everyone be able to get after the quarterback, stop the run. So, um, yeah, I like that. What was another one I wanted to talk about? So I didn't really put any down for this position, but the guard position. What do you think? Like I didn't really see any free agents. I was like, yeah.
No, yeah, that's
Um,
kind of how I felt. I was looking through even all the list of guys who are going to be free agents at the guard position, and I'm
mhm.
like,
Wasn't really that impressed because you want to get an upgrade, right? You
yeah,
want to secure that right guard spot. You don't want to just throw anybody in there. So
I'd almost rather just
and
re-sign Evan Brown at that point to play right guard
almost
than
yeah.
than go after
The
some of the
only
free
two
agents.
there's only two names that kind of like that could be free agents is Graham Glasgow, wouldn't hate it, and then um P the Saints offensive guard that might get cut, Andreas P I think his
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is.
I know who you're talking about.
He yeah, he wouldn't be a bad one at all if he gets cut. So there might be some guys that get cut in free agency that could work out. And then what sucks is like the free agency market for a guard isn't deep, but neither is the
The
draft. It
draft,
seems
yeah.
like so it's like the guard market's not the guard this offseason is going to be. We need to replace it, but it's like dang. So,
Let's just hope that
I don't know.
Big V comes back and is healthy and fine and wants to play, and then
Right.
can play, and then there's
I
no.
wonder if they redo his contract. A little bit.
I think they're going to have to. I mean, he's
Either that, or you kind of got, or you go out and trade for a guard. Like, what would it cost to get Zach Martin?
yeah.
I've
I
been
mean,
asking that for a few years.
he's getting up there in
So
age too. Maybe they're looking
yeah,
to get rid of him to get new draft capital. I mean, he's still really good.
right.
You just
Yeah,
got the big thing is then you got to think about his cap hit. Because you're paying Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnar
yeah.
a
That's the
lot.
thing.
You got
You would
Paul
have to
George
redo his
this time of
contract.
year. I mean, you got if you bring in another stud, they're gonna have to pay Jonah Jackson here soon too. So I mean, they
Yeah,
got to kind of figure it out.
yeah. That's true.
I
Gotta be
also
careful with
I
it.
think the most ideal thing for the guard spot would be to probably draft a guy because the cost. I
I
mean,
agree.
if you bring in another starter next year, you have to pay Jonah Jackson. You got five guys. I mean, Penny Sue would probably be the cheapest guy just because he's going to be on a rookie deal. If
Right.
you're out of trading for a really good player,
That's a good point.
it's just a
Yeah,
lot of money tied up in the offensive line.
yeah. That's a good point. The best bet would probably be just draft a guard,
Yeah,
even though it's not super deep, but you just take one early. There's still a few I like anyway. So, um, you probably take one in the second round or at 18.
yeah,
If you take one at 18, you're taking that guard from Florida.
yep.
But you take one,
Yeah, whatever the heck his name is.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Or you take one in the second round probably. But yeah, the free agency market probably won't go and get nobody. Nobody really pops out.
Yep.
Now I want to talk about two more positions real quick. And no, not the running back position, because even if we let Swift walk, or even Williams, I don't want to go pay a Barkley or. It's a really good class of running backs. I don't want to go play one of these top running backs though,
Yeah.
because this running back class in the draft is so deep,
Yep.
bro. You don't do that. Just go get a rookie, and the running back. You rather have a young running back, like a guy on a rookie deal, than somebody that's been beat up a little bit, and he would cost a lot more. So it just makes sense to draft him.
For sure.
So not looking at I'm not looking at the running backs really. Not no top tier running backs anyways, like Barkley.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be a fun idea, but no.
And Barkley got tagged too.
Well, he got tagged, yeah, so he's not even on the market. So, I did forget about that. But anyways, what receivers are you looking at? So I had two down. I think I had Robert Woods and I had Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, those aren't bad because Goff's played with both of them.
Yeah.
The other guy that I had down that I don't know what his market or his price is going to be is Darius Slayton, to be like a wide receiver 3 if that's what he wants to be. I don't know if he'll be a wide receiver 2 or not, or if he'll demand that money. But he's just someone else I thought of as a wide receiver 3. Him and Josh.
And he's a good X receiver.
Yeah, so I mean they could be kind of like 3 and 4 in certain packages.
Yeah.
One's in certain packages, the other's in.
Yeah.
But I do like I also like Robert Woods a lot because he played with Goff for a while and
yeah, and I think out of Cooks and Woods, like Cooks is he's been amazing, underrated, but he's gonna cost a lot more too. And I think he wants to be the receiver 1. So Woods I think would be fine being.
He'd be the more logical option.
Yeah, and he's cheaper too, and he's still productive. I think he'd ball as a receiver 3. I think he'd be actually really good. Like I still think he has juice in him. I don't think he's like washed or anything. Like
no,
I still think he can be pretty. I think he could be a good 2 really, but for us he'd probably be 3, and that would be probably a cheaper deal. I think it would be ideal. So I have a feeling that could happen, Robert Woods, unless he returns to LA.
Mm-hmm.
But another guy we could see, I think Kenny Galladay could come back on a cheap deal.
You think he could come back? He'd be very.
He wouldn't have no pressure on him, not like before with that huge contract, And I think Ben could use him in the way he's supposed to be used. But do Lions, they might value versatility and separation a little bit more than he can offer.
Mm-hmm.
So he could also go back to the Rams, which I think is pretty likely, especially with A-Rob leaving or getting
Yeah,
cut or traded. So that was just some kind of, just thinking about the X receiver because that's what he is an X
yeah.
receiver. Don't use him like anything else. But and I think he'd be a solid get. Let's see. Marvin Jones is another one. Could bring him back, as an X receiver. Quality guy. She'd be on a cheap deal too.
Mhm.
That would be interesting.
It's
Then
always fun to
obviously if
try to
we
bring back guys that have been here before.
I know. It's weird. You know what I mean? And they were just here a few years
I know
ago.
it's not like they were gone that long, so
No, so but or DJ Chark, bring him back, resign him
yep.
if the deal is right. Um any other receivers that pop out to you that
Not
you're
really.
like,
You hit on. I mean, I didn't really mark much down for receiver because I don't think they're going to prioritize it too much because they have
yeah,
their top two that they love. They got Josh Reynolds as a good three. They got Khalif
yeah,
Raymond. So I just put down Slayton as kind of a guy that could be something. But I do like the thought of Woods. And
yeah,
the only other thing I'll put out there is about the Cooks. As much as I like him, I think that they would probably rather pay DJ Chark than go get him just because he's been here
yeah,
now. Probably cost a little less too. So that's the other thing I'll put out.
yeah.
But that's all I had for the receiver spot.
All right, that sounds good. And then only the last one I want to talk about is the tight ends. So, I'm curious because we don't. It doesn't seem like we value that position much. We've talked about this a bunch, but they probably want to get someone in there if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in Hawks level, and you certainly don't want to pay that kind of, you know, especially if you're not using him like he needs to be used or whatever. But there's some guys in here that who knows? I don't think would cost a ton. Might cost a little bit, but like a guy like Dalton Schultz, I don't know what his market is.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
he was
either.
real solid in Dallas.
I
So
almost put him down, but I think he'll end up. I think because he's the top tight end guy and he was kind of a pretty good target for the Cowboys. I think
yeah,
he'll get paid quite a bit.
yeah.
The two
I,
things are going to
I
be out there. Go ahead. I'll let you go first because it's kind of your.
I wonder what his like his market is. Like if we could get him on a reasonable deal, you know what I mean? Like if we're not gonna pay him 10 million a season. I don't see that
Yeah,
happening.
no, that won't happen. Or else
But
it's paid
he
Hawkins.
would be real ideal in our offense. Like that would add a different element because he's not Hawk. You don't have to like, okay, we gotta get him involved,
Mm-hmm.
He's just a real he's above average safety. He's probably one of the better. I'm probably what? There's not that it's the tight end. Did I say safety?
Yeah, it's all right.
Tight end,
I
guys, tight
wasn't
end.
saying anything.
But tight end. So he's probably what, a top 12ish
I was gonna
tight end.
say
The tight end
definitely
group
drop
in the
that.
NFL isn't
He's on my
great.
fantasy team too, so I'm gonna need him to go somewhere. He's gonna get a lot of touch.
Yeah, you want him to ball out. Oh, he on your dynasty team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a trade. It was a trade for. I got him and Jamal Williams back when no one thought Williams was going to have the year he had.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I got Williams too.
I don't know who I traded away, but I won. Looking back a year ago, I
Hmm.
killed that trade. So um,
Man,
yeah, it was nice. But yeah, he's definitely a top 12 tight ender. So I mean, maybe even better. I'd say top 10 or
absolutely.
so.
And then a couple other guys. Mike Gesicki is a free agent, but he's probably going to demand some
I
money.
think he'll be one of the top guys getting
Yeah.
the the.
Austin Hooper's an interesting one. He's
He
an
might not
interesting
cost
one.
too much.
Right. And the upside's there, if you do what we've been doing. Um
I
yeah, and
got
then there's
one more that he's a younger guy, Irv Smith Jr. Just because he didn't
from
pan out too
Minnesota.
well in Minnesota, like he had some ups and downs, but then he got hurt. I don't think he's
His
going to cost
injuries.
too much because of his
Cuz
injuries.
he seemed like he was going to be their guy, right?
Yeah,
Like 2 years ago. And I remember after his rookie year, Vikings fans were hype about him. They
I
thought
mean
he could be the best tight end.
he looked better than Hawkins in his rookie year.
Yeah.
Um, and
So,
and so I think he'll be a cheaper guy, and he's younger too. If you want to sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal for a few million a
I
year,
like that. If I
that's
had to pick a
I
tight
thought.
end, if I had to pick a tight end in this free agency pool, it would be Schultz or Irv Smith. I actually forgot about Irv Smith. I really like that. That's a really good mention because it fits what we want to do. Kind of, it's get a young guy on a cheap deal and let him prove himself.
Mhm.
That would be great.
Yeah,
It's low risk, high reward, like we've been
exactly.
doing. I would love that. So, and athletically, he's an upgrade at
Oh,
our
for
tight end
sure.
position. So, um, yeah, that would be underrated. Is there any other positions you want to talk about during free agency? What we could target? We've mostly just talked about kind of bigger names because
Yeah, and we
obviously,
essentially went over the whole defense too, and then we got
yeah,
a few needs on offense. Um, I don't really think that there's no need to talk about running backs. There's really no need to talk about quarterbacks. I don't think because I think they're just going to draft one. I mean, they could go get a veteran backup. I just don't think it's going to happen. But um, yeah, I think we hit pretty much every spot needed.
okay. So well then we
That
can
was
if you
that was a
want.
good
That was
free
good.
agency. So we'll see what happens on
We'll
Monday.
and then we'll recap once we get in episode 4. We'll
Yep.
recap. Sorry guys, it was Fly trying to suck my soul out, so
But
I had
you're
to
like
slap his
pushing
ass.
us to the future and saying episode 4.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I say, make sure you check out episode 4 because it's gonna be
Yep.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
So
we'll record that probably next Saturday or Sunday. Give it the
yeah,
whole week to play out and see where people go. But that'll be a good
yeah,
episode.
give it some time.
Yep.
Yeah, and see what we do, and we'll talk about who we signed, who we signed. Yeah, and then we'll probably do another mock draft because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
Yep.
keep doing as
We're
many
gonna do a
mocks as
mock draft
possible.
till it's time to
Do the real thing.
do the real thing. So let's actually jump into the mock draft then. We're going to do
Let's
it
do it.
live, PFF, 7 rounds, and we are going to look at some teams that want to trade with us, and then we can kind of try to see what we want to try to get out of them as far as the trade goes. So you can still see
Yep.
me, right, Mitch? Because I cannot see
Yep.
you.
Yep. I can see you.
All right, so I'm going to start this up. And
Okay.
first, I'll go over kind of the guys who are available, the top guys, and then we can kind of look. So we have 7 trade offers. There are some 2, top quarterbacks still. So here's who was taken first: Will
Okay.
Anderson, Bryce Young, Jalen Carter, Anthony Richardson, and Tyree Wilson. So
Okay.
Will Levis, C.J. Stroud, Devin Witherspoon, Quentin Johnson, wide receiver TCU, Christian Gonzalez, Smith, Njigba, however they say his name, from Ohio State.
Yep. Yep.
Skronsky from Northwestern, Cansey from Pittsburgh, Brian Branch, Alabama. Now you're kind of getting to the guys you're not going to take with that high pick.
Right.
So I guess
So let's look at the trade offers. What's the
yeah.
who wants to trade up?
So we
Because
have,
I think this is an ideal spot to trade down. Just a
I
few
think so
spots, not
too.
nothing crazy, but
So
what do you got?
I'll go from. So we have the Niners, who don't have a pick till 99 because they trade everything away, so they're out of it. I'm not going that far back.
No, too far.
Saints are pick 29; they're too far back, I think.
Yeah.
The other 5 are Jaguars with pick 24, Vikings with pick 23, Commanders with pick 16, Jets with pick 13, and Falcons with pick 8.
I like that pick 8. 8, 9 is the ideal spot for us to move down, so we can
You
take.
can get your guy still and move back a little.
Yes.
So the main
So
question then is, what do we want to try to get? Obviously, we're going to flip. We're going to get 8. They get 6. What are you trying
okay.
to want to try to get out of them? You want to try to get a second, third, or fourth this year, second, third, or fourth next year? What are you thinking?
Well, try for a second. I'm not sure they'll go for it, but try for it and see what happens. If not, then we could possibly go for a third.
So you think trading our 6 for their 8 and 44?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try that. I'm not sure they'll go for it, but
I think they will based on the percentage thing they have at the bottom. So they did accept that.
sweet. So we acquired. So
they
Lions
got
fan.
Stroud, and then the Raiders got Levis. So only 2 quarterbacks went since we were there. So now we kind of have our whole slew of corners.
So we traded 2 spots down, acquire an extra second, and we can take who we want because me and Ryan weren't going to take a quarterback.
No, we were not,
So
because we don't think it's going to happen.
So sitting there at 8, Ryan.
Yep.
We pretty much got all the players we still were interested in.
Everyone was still interested in. And honestly,
what is your mindset like?
Well, so here's the thing. I just saw before we hopped on that Witherspoon's not doing his pro day today,
Seen that too.
which set off a little bit of a red flag for me. But I still
Well, he has a hamstring injury,
and that's what I thought. But it might, I don't know, it might scare some people away. But I also love how he plays. I picked Gonzalez last time. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to take a receiver. I think it's Witherspoon still. I think they're going to take a corner with their first pick, and I think it's going to be Witherspoon or Gonzalez. And I think Witherspoon's the pick here.
Yeah, I say we take Witherspoon too.
Okay.
His film's just so good.
Yep. All right.
So,
We'll
and
take Witherspoon then.
I think Dan Campbell, one of the four guys he said that has the it factor.
Was Witherspoon?
I think he's one of them.
He seems like a Dan Campbell guy, so I'm gonna go
He
ahead and
does.
draft Witherspoon.
It sucks he couldn't participate at the combine or his pro day. I feel like he would have tested great.
Yep.
Just sucks a little bit, but um, you still draft off film at the bottom at the end of the day.
Sure.
So
All right. So now we're at pick 18. We do have 4 trade offers. Here are the guys that are still available: are Cansey, the D lineman from Pitt; Brian Branch, safety from Alabama; Dalton Kincaid, tight end Utah; Brian Brees, D lineman Clemson; Nolan Smith, edge from Georgia. You got Zay Flowers, if Jordan Addison, if you want a receiver; Bijan Robinson, running back, and then probably like Michael Meyer would probably be the other guy to think of, and everyone else is probably not on your list.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the trades really quick just to see what's there.
Okay.
You got Minnesota. So again, now we're at pick 18. We got Minnesota at pick 23. It's probably the only one I'm going to look at because besides that, you have Colts at pick 35, Raiders at pick 38, and Jets at 43. So I think 23 would probably be the. I don't think I want to jump back all the way to the second round.
No.
So I say.
Do you want to make a second trade?
I think so.
If 23 is not bad. Only 5 spots.
Yeah, so I think we go to 23. We'll trade 18. And then do you want to try to get like a next year second because they don't have a second this year?
Yeah, because we have it.
So I say we try to get like the next year's second, and then maybe like a late round pick as well.
Try this. I might be too much, but we'll see what happens. Try to get a second this year and a second next year and a fourth this year.
That's what I was doing. Yep, getting our 4th back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, try that.
And they did accept that.
I like that. Now, because I really want a 4th round. I don't know why, but I really want a 4th round pick again. So that's a great trade. We trade back twice. We get a second round pick this year and a 4th round pick this year and a second next year. That's some good draft capital. And now at 23, what are we looking at, Ryan?
Yep. So now we got Dalton Kincaid, Brian Brees, Zay Flowers, Bijan Robinson, Michael Meyer. And I'll tell you the 2 that I kind of want to look at. Brian Brees and Bijan Robinson, just because he's such a freak of a running back. I don't know if they're going to want to take one in the first round. But Brian Brees is kind of a Dan Campbell guy, I think. He'd fit really well, and it's at a position of need. So that probably makes some more sense, but
I really want to know what's going on with DeAndre Swift. It's so hard to – what do you do? Because if we trade Swift, I want Robinson. Absolutely, I want him in the first round. But I don't know if we are. I don't know what we're doing with the running backs right now. So
here's what I'm going to say. I think the draft class is pretty deep at running back, and I think Brian Brees would be a nice pick with 23, so I'm leaning towards Brees.
Yeah, we need to – it's just we don't know what's going on with Swift right now. Maybe we'll get some clarity in a week or two, especially with Jamal. If Jamal comes back, if he doesn't, then you have to go another running back. I mean, so yeah, I agree. Let's go Breezy. Yeah, I think he's athletic freak. He just I guess some people didn't like his production as much, but he's an athletic freak. Could have been he has a talent to be a top 10 pick, but he's a little raw in some areas, but I think he'd benefit on this D line
for sure.
Remember our new D line coach. I really liked how he developed some of those Penn State guys. So, I would love to see him on this D line. So yeah, and right there, that's good value.
Yes,
a guy that some be like, well, maybe he's a reach at 6. A little bit. It's falling a little bit down, but getting him at 23, I think that's really good value.
Yep.
He's still one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in the class. So, yeah, let's go Brian and
right.
soar up
that
D-line.
Before this is from the Atlanta trade, and we have Tanner McKee, quarterback from Stanford. If you want to try to get a day 2 guy for the backup, Mozzie Smith from Michigan. BJ Ojulari from LSU, the edge. Henley, the linebacker from Washington State. You also have the Northwestern edge. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
And then
Steve Avila, TCU guard, and then Luke Musgrave, tight end from Oregon State.
Okay, so
So
we have a lot of picks,
keep in
Ryan.
mind, because we have 2 picks here over the next 5 spots.
Yeah,
So I like. So we just took Brees, who's a D lineman.
yeah,
The 4 guys that stick out to me, and it depends who's the mindset of behind this, which we are right now. But like, are they wanting a quarterback somewhat early? Can we take
yeah.
the quarterback? Do we take Ojulari, who's an end, or do we go offense and take Musgrave, a tight end,
Well,
would be a good one, or
what
go ahead.
what is the linebackers looking like? Because we have a lot of picks. We can draft guys we
Yeah,
don't
so
typically take early.
Henley, the linebacker from Washington State, is the only guy on here for a little while. I scrolled down quite a bit, and there's no one else really for a long time. Another guy
So,
too I just ran into though was Darnell Washington. He's
oh, the tight end.
yeah, which he wouldn't be a bad day 2 pick. So
Yeah, at this point, like my mindset was like, okay, we'll probably take linebacker and tight end later. But at this point, we have 3 second-round picks in this mock. So and then we have 3 seconds in this mock. So, hmm.
I
So,
I want to say, and you tell me, I want to say either of the tight ends.
mhm.
I think Steve Avila will still be there in the next few picks. So I'd say
Me too.
either of the tight ends or BJ Ojulari from LSU. I think I
Let
would say I want one of those 3.
let's try this. Um, let's target Noah Sewell. What do you think about that? But not right now. I mean, like
A little bit later.
in the third round. If he's there in the third, if not, then we can adjust. But because Simpson's gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay. So
I say we go for Ojulari because I think one of the 2 tight ends will still be there with the next pick and maybe even the pick after that too. And I want to get a tight end I think a little early, uh, but I think
well, what tight ends are available? Which ones is it?
the Luke Musgrave from Oregon State, who I like a lot, and then Darnell
Hmm.
Washington from Georgia.
Okay. What's the third tight end?
Next tight end on the list is Laporta from Iowa.
Okay, I do like all 3 of those.
So I say we go for Ojulari or we want Mozzie Smith, but I think we just grabbed a D line. I mean, like a more interior guy. So I'd rather go.
Go to the edge group because I do want to edge in
Yes,
with
we
one of
got
these.
Ojulari. You got the guy from Northwestern,
Yeah.
Adebe War. I don't know.
I can't even pronounce it.
Andre Carter from Army, Carl Brooks,
Okay.
Bowling Green. But again, now you're kind of getting into some later. Foskey from Notre Dame.
Okay. Yeah, I think let's go to the edge. He is explosive.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go him. Let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. So that is done. Hey, buddy. Sorry. So between that pick and our pick, Musgrave got taken, which kind of stinks. Mozzie Smith and then the Northwestern edge got taken. So now we're still looking, Tanner McKee, Henley from Washington State, the linebacker, Avila, the guard, if we want to get Laporta or Washington at tight end, we can do that.
Let's go. I don't know if you like this. Tell me what you think. Let's go Washington. He's a monster blocker. He has
Yes,
potential as a really good receiver too. He's
I like.
as big as he is.
He
How does
moves
he
well.
move like that?
Yeah.
It's insane.
I like him a
So
lot.
I
I
think
think that's a good.
he'd be a really good fit
Okay.
in this offense. Yeah. So let's get him. You just upgrade our tight end room.
Yep.
Add another element to this offense. So
So now we are at pick 55, our third second round pick.
mhm.
We have Tanner McKee still on the board, quarterback from Stanford. We have Garrett Williams, cornerback from Syracuse. If we want to double up there, we just drafted tight end, so we don't want that. We drafted an edge, but Andre Carter's still there. Unfortunately, Avila's gone, which kind of stinks. But
Yeah, I was hoping it'd fall there. We could hit 1, 2, and 3. What guards are there?
There's really not, man. It's a lot of centers. The next guard is Andrew Voorhees, which is hurt,
Oh
and
yeah, Tweez
next
ACL.
two guys after that is Patterson from Notre Dame and Kirkland from Washington. But they're both probably day three guys.
Oh man,
So
that's
unless you want
rough.
to get Luke Wepler from Ohio State
Ohio State.
and see if he can just kind of be, because he's a center, but if he can just kind of be a versatile guy and go to guard, and I wouldn't. I mean, he's a good player. I wouldn't mind him.
Yeah.
If you want to go with offensive lineman, all
What's
right,
the linebackers?
linebackers. You're looking at not great either. Dorian Williams, who I got in my last mock in the 5th round, um, overshown from Texas, probably a late 3rd round pick, and then after that you're looking at a bunch of day 3 guys.
Noah Sewell gone?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't even scroll down there. I was looking at the next like 4, but I don't know why he's that low. But he's
Maybe
still
we could try to
there.
get him. Do you want to get him, or do you want to go that an offense lineman?
I think he'll still be there. Pick
Me
80,
too.
81, Sewell. I say we go with Wepler from Ohio State,
Okay.
and then we
Take him,
go.
and we'll move him over to the right guard spot.
Yep, that's we'll do that, and then we'll try to grab Sewell with 81.
Okay.
Okay. Hope he's not gone. All right, so here we are. Let's go to linebacker. And Sewell is still there.
Okay. Perfect.
So
Let's take.
you want to snag him?
Yeah. Let's take Noah Sewell. Bring him home with his brother.
It's going to be a 3rd round pick. Now we're getting the 4th rounder from Minnesota that we traded up or traded back to get.
That's right.
So here are the top guys. We have Travius Hodges Tomlinson, the cornerback from TCU. If we want to double up there, McBride, the running back from UAB. We still have Dorian Williams, the linebacker from Tulane. If you want to double up there, Isaiah McGuire, the edge from Missouri. Kobe Turner, D lineman from Wake Forest.
How are the receivers looking?
We got Trey Palmer from Nebraska, Ford Wheaton from West Virginia, Xavier Hutchinson from Iowa State, Jarrett from Maryland. Those are probably the guys we'd want to look at, I would say.
Um.
I wouldn't mind a receiver with this spot though.
Yeah. I do like that. Who was that receiver you just said?
I like Trey Palmer and Xavier Hutchinson.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I like Hutchinson.
Want to grab him here?
I think we should. I mean, we pretty much covered any needs. Not really reaching for needs, anyways. But unless you think someone else is better on the board, but
I think he's a good snag, so I'm going to go with that.
okay, let's do it.
All right, so we got 3 picks left. So here we still got McBride, the running back from UAB, which I liked last pick, and I also liked my last mock, which I didn't grab. Dorian Williams is still there, the linebacker from Tulane, if we want to double up there. Turner from Wake Forest is still here. If we want to double up at corner, we can get Bennett from Maryland. Is there a position you're looking at here? Or you just kind of wanting to hear his name? If we want to get Aiden O'Connell from Purdue, the quarterback, is a day 3 guy, we could always go quarterback here. He's on the board.
Right. I do want us to take Michigan's kicker at one of these picks.
Yes, and
So, should we wait on him? Or
Yeah,
do you want to
he'll
take him
be
here?
there at the end. He's always there at the end, I think. So I say
Okay, we'll wait on him.
we'll wait to get him
Um,
one of our 2 6-round picks.
okay. What do you think is good value here? You think that linebacker might be good value?
Dorian Williams.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, I love the guy. I picked him with my last mock draft because I liked him so much, and he's still here this late. I want to take him and just double up at linebacker again.
let's do it. Let's take him.
My dogs need to go to the bathroom. They're just staring at me.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, just wait a minute, guys. All right. So we are at pick 182. So we can get Jake Moody if we want to grab him now. We pick again at 11 picks. Aiden O'Connell is still here if we want to go that route. I still like Keaton Mitchell from Eastern Carolina. I picked him last time as well. He's a really good running. I think a really good day 3 running back, I should say.
Right.
Blackman, the corner from USC. Want to go safety? Quindell Johnson's there. Stetson Bennett's there. There's some other edges, safeties, tackles. But what do you think here?
Well, one of these picks we're gonna go with Moody.
Yep.
But another pick. Do you want to get the backup quarterback here?
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Get a 6-round day 3 guy. I like Aiden O'Connell as a late guy like that. So I kind of like going for him here and then snagging Moody with our last pick in 11.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Get our backup because we do need a backup.
So we snagged him, and then I'm going to go to kicker and grab Jake Moody. And then we got a picks for the draft.
So there it is, guys. There's our mock draft.
Once it pops up really here, I'll go over quickly what we did, and then we'll be good for this podcast.
Sounds good.
I like doing this live, kind of getting some live feed and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it live. Make us think on the spot.
You guys need to go potty?
Dog's got to go.
Dude, his tail's moving. The other one ran upstairs. Hopefully he's not peeing on my couch or anything.
Right.
All right, so we traded pick 6 for pick 8 and 44. We grabbed Witherspoon with that number 8 pick. Then we traded pick 18 for 123, round 4, 119, and next year seconds. And that means next year we have 2 second-round picks. And grabbed Brian Breeze. And then with pick 244, we got B.J. Ojulari, getting that kind of edge spot all sorted out. Pick 48, round 2, Darnell Washington. Would be awesome to have him as a tight end. Round 2, pick 55, we got Luke Wepler. He'll be hopefully he can move to right guard. That's kind of our goal here. Round 3, pick 81, we snagged Noah Sewell. Bring him back home with Panay. Round 4, pick 119, we got Xavier Hutchinson, receiver from Iowa State. Round 5, pick 153, we got Dorian Williams, linebacker from Tulane. Round 6, pick 182, we got Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback from Purdue, taking up the backup quarterback spot. And last but not least, pick 193, Jake Moody, kicker, kind of getting that kicker spot lined up. And I like that. I like this a lot.
Yeah, this mock was different than ones I've done in the past. Going for tight end early, not really linebacker early, but I like it because it's different, and you get a lot of starters. Potentially Witherspoon would be a starter. Breeze would be a starter.
Ojulari can be a really good guy.
Yeah,
Washington.
Moody would be a starter, obviously.
I mean, you're getting a lot of starters here, I think, and a lot of good guys too.
Yeah, a lot of good depth too. So I really would like this mock like that. It would be so ideal to trade down. At least the first time, at least let us trade down, and even if it's not a second and it's a third, you trade down, but it's only 8 or 9. I don't want to trade too far because you don't want to get behind like a team that might take your corner, like one in Philly or Tennessee. You don't want to get behind those guys. Certainly don't want to get behind Washington or Pittsburgh because they're going to probably take a corner. So
yeah, for sure.
Or even New England. So 8 and 9 is that's the furthest.
That's a nice spot. And you have the Panthers, Raiders, and the Falcons all right there who could trade up. So
yeah, one of them because they're gonna be fighting for quarterbacks. Yep. Let's say Rodgers goes to the Jets. Who's left? Who do you really want in the market as a quarterback? Like you probably want to trade up for the young guy. So we could have 2 quarterbacks left after 2 go and 3 teams fighting for that spot. So they're gonna probably try to jump each
bidding
other.
war,
So we could get into a mini little bidding war for whoever's like, what if CJ Stroud falls?
yeah,
Or if Richardson's there? Like one of these teams gonna really want him. So they could end up trading a second,
yep,
Whatever, that would be ideal for us, So yeah, that's what I would like to happen. But as of right now, I kinda like the quarterback, going after a quarterback right now.
yeah. I think it was a really good draft. So
Cornerback, not quarterback.
I knew what you're saying.
Yeah, so
All
yeah,
right.
I think right now Witherspoon or Gonzalez.
It's
Right
gonna
now, it could change though. Still a
definitely
long
still got
process.
a month and a half, but Res right now, if I had to put
Yeah,
my money on, it'd be one of those two guys.
me too. Yep, I agree. So yeah,
All right.
I think that's our podcast.
Yep. So we'll be
Um,
back next weekend for
yeah,
free agency recap, and we'll probably end up doing another live mock, kind of the same way
yep,
I just did this today. So
yeah, that sounds good to me. Yep, we'll go and we'll see what happens with free agency. It starts in not too long, in a few days, really.
yep, Monday
Um,
is kind of legal tampering, but
yeah,
that's pretty much
Monday.
when it
It
starts.
really starts Monday. Wednesday you can't officially sign, but
There's
Monday is when
like
negotiations
maybe
start.
once a year, one time a year where one guy will sign or agree on Monday and then change it up. That's it. So pretty much Monday is
Yeah,
certain.
that's it.
So
Monday's the day, guys. It's the
yep.
day, and I'm
Okay.
excited. So, but yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching.
Yep. Everyone have a great day and go Lions.
One pride, baby.